We live in a world full of opinions and perspective. For some, God doesn't exist and they can rather tell you why. For some, God does exist and they can also give you a reason for it. For some, hedonism is a way of life and their core purpose. For some, responsibility and discipline matters more than anything. Some believe in science, some believe in faith. For some, lavish living matters. For some, minimalism matters more. One enjoys peace, other enjoys wars. Basically, there are countless distinctions between people's standpoints and beliefs, tons of prejudices, tons of convictions, and all these diverseness perniciously cloak the truth and invariably swap the right and wrong. That's why many people tend to favor facts. But if all facts are true, then what is true? There are no facts, only interpretations, said by Friedrich Nietzsche in some of his famous work. Most probably what he wanted to say is that there are no truths, only explanation. Though fact act like a synonym for truth, and evidence is also in the same mold. So talking about their fidelities is equivalent to talking about the fidelity of truth. So how truth is the truth? It seems a quite ludicrous question because truth is reality and reality is something we perceive and can make plausible judgment about its working. It's like asking why 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. It can't be questioned. It is a fundamental axiom developed by human. But I don't think truth is math because math in itself is infinite, fallible, and unintelligible. But before pondering about the dubious nature of truth, it will be worth considering to know how something became the truth and is there a different type of truth with ranging probabilities. I am holding this pen in my hand, and you are also seeing it, and it is certainly not an illusion or delusion as far as you can trust your eyes. So it's obviously a fact, and you will certainly not ask for the inquiry of this fact. Means it is a corresponding truth as it corresponded with the reality and your eyes. That's why you believe it as true. Yeah, there are classifications for truth. Coherent truth is considered as truth in some particular group, and in this respect, individual truths are of uh, trifling importance. Then comes pragmatic truth, which, as its name implies, is determined only by its practical influence and usefulness in the real world. While definitionary truth is something curiosity, that straight truth is linguistic and generalized. For instance, saying white is an alternative to saying snow is white. To put it simply, this theory hates extra information and prefer minimalism quite oddly. Afterwards and more familiar to this video is relativistic truth, a truth that varies profoundly with person to person because of the culture, tradition, and religion. Then comes objective truth, which is constant and will never alter, regardless of your affirmations or denials. It is independent from people and their prejudices, just like Newton's absolute time, which was independent from time and space. Then comes subjective truth. It's kind of similar to relative one, but with little tweaks. Like if I say yellow is the best color in the world, which can't be necessarily true for you because that truth was the product of an individual perspective and feeling. Last but not the least is the scientific truth, which lies heavily on observations, laws, evidences, and it is changeable. As if new proofs contradicts old one, then the former one will inevitably get replaced. But from where you will perceive the truth? Should we trust our eyes? It is an intricate question because our eyes differ significantly from other organisms. Our eyes are only designed to perceive the natural world and can't preferably appear in the atomic or cellular world. And human eyes are incredibly sharp, can see diverse colors, have strong depth perception compared to other beings whose eyes capabilities are only determined by their evolutionary trajectory and survival. No doubt some animals have better night vision than us, but the simultaneous response of our prodigious brain with exceptionally well eyes hardly be doubted. Though there are various quirky optical illusions that can mislead our eyes, nevertheless, we can trust our eyes in most physical cases, excluding the hypothetical illusions and hallucination that sometimes lug our credulous eyes when we elude our sleep. Now, let's talk about bias. Bias is equal to prejudice, is equal to racism, is equal to immoral, is equal to bad thing. We all have biases. In other words, perspectives, opinions, beliefs, convictions, motives, etc., that has been inevitably altering the meaning of truth for countless individuals. There are tons of biases. Most famous of them are cognitive biases. For example, confirmation bias, a bias that justify and throw light on your existing beliefs. It's what most seek from science by entering this has been already mentioned in our holy books. Anchoring bias. If I will show you this pig and will afterward ask, who do you think is favorable for the outcome, then you most probably will choose the former one. Hindsight bias, availability bias, framing effect, loss aversion, and a bunch of others. But if you want to get acquainted with them, then stuff upon these books for a while and you will open another eye to suspect biases. However, if you are still here, then you might ask for how to find truth as proposed in the title. And there are numerous strategies to catch truth, like logic and reasoning. So, some folks would love to extract facts only for profit and usage. But I discovered one plausible alternative that is Socratic method. Seeking truth isn't only a scientist's job, but it dwells with the layer of complexities on the minds of philosophers and thinkers. Socrates, one of the eminent philosophers of his time, propounded the method of active inquiry for seeking truth. The method involves two individuals opposing each other's standpoints. They will ask open ended questions, and these will mutually foster analytical thinking in both individuals. They will scrutinize each other's beliefs, assumptions, and principally contradictions, that is, frequently mutating the fact. Consequently, both individuals in this rigorous process will find ignorance and incoherentness in their arguments and will pull a plausible conclusion by themselves after finally interpreting each other's opinions. This method merely involves asking continuous questions and works brilliantly in debates. Though, due to the compelling strain in question, it will overwhelmingly reduce the frequency of answers, and both parties have to be equally patient in this practice, which nowadays most people lack. I cited this method as fruitful because it will uncloak the hidden biases of folks combined with the meticulous incorporation that will result as a most effective method for the venture of truth. Werner Heisenberg had once observed, there is only one thing certain, that everything is uncertain. So truth is not immutable. It has been altering and will remain altered. For instance, long ago, some tribes believed and considered it as truth that sun is God and moon is God. But now we can utter with conceivable evidence and observation that they are an God. I hope this video has given you some insights about the term truth that you often use and how it is the masterpiece of ambiguity. But the things I have told you in this video are also truth or lie. Remember, in interpreting truth to others, the judgment, rhetoric, eloquence unfairly matters more than the sheer fidelity of your thought. Now let's end and unify this video with rather more quickie quotes.